Hello, this is Aaron Mean of SG Gaming Info, and welcome to my video review of Square Enix's Final Fantasy XV on the PlayStation 4. Final Fantasy XV has been a long anticipated game from Square Enix, and finally, 10 years after it was first announced as Final Fantasy Versus 13, it is now available for new and current fans of the Final Fantasy franchise. So here's the main question. Is Final Fantasy XV worth the 10-year wait? I would say yes. Final Fantasy XV is a good game. It isn't perfect, but it is fun. For those wondering about the plot, the game involves the kingdom of Lucius being destroyed by the rival empire of Niflheim, as Prince Noctis is en route to marry the Oracle, Lady Lunafreya. The attack by the empire leads to chaos, and Noctis has a new role. He is now king, and his duty is to save Lucius by reclaiming the crystal that protected Lucius from the demons and find Lunafreya. The plot is simplistic in appearance, but as the game progresses, it becomes far more interesting and darker. I don't want to say too much about it, but the game uses the transition from open world to linear progression as a way to start a tonal shift, as Noctis goes from journeying to his wedding to saving his kingdom and the world. Final Fantasy XV's story is decent. It very much starts out as a road trip, with Noctis being escorted to his wedding by his friends / guards Prompto, Ignis and Gladiolus. Everything feels normal for a large portion of the trip, but when the Empire attacks Lucius, the fun aspect begins to disappear, as the goal is now to save the world from the Empire and demons that now prowl the night. There is something important to mention about the story, and that is how the story does tend to dump information, with the majority of the plot-specific information being dumped on you as you leave the open world portion of the game. So speaking of character motivations, let's talk about the characters. The main four, Noctis, Ignis, Prompto and Gladiolus, are well fleshed out. They aren't wooden, they have personalities that evolve as the game progresses, as we see the four going from arguing to becoming almost brothers in their friendship. The main antagonist, Imperial Chancellor Ardane, is a compelling character from the start. He follows Noctis wherever he goes, helping them but also teasing and messing with their minds. While he is a strong antagonist, his goals and motivations do seem to be rushed. In terms of locations visited in the game, there is a nice spread of rural outposts, towns, beach resorts and gorgeous cities. However, while there is a nice spread of locations, few of these locations are populated. In fact, there are only 2 locations with a sizable population. They are Lestalum, which is a hunter city that has a strong population, and Altissa, which is a beautiful Venice-like city. While the lack of populated areas could be considered a poor choice by some, I believe it works with the story the game is telling. In regards to gameplay, Final Fantasy XV offers players a lot of content. Each of the 4 main characters has their own skill. Noctis has fishing, Gladiolus has survival, Ignis has cooking, and Prompto has photography. You can ride chocobos, perform side quests, drive your car, explore dungeons, create magic, and spend ability points to increase various elements of your characters. It is easy to say that all the features mentioned weigh the game down, but for me I liked all the features as they made the game bigger. My favourite feature is the rest system. This system works by when it reaches night, or you find a rest spot you can sleep, and as you prepare to sleep, all the experience you accumulated since the last time you rested are delved out. You also see some of Prompto's photos, and if you are camping outside, you get to eat some nice healthy stat boosting food created by Ignis. Now before getting to combat, I want to talk about ability points. Ability points are used via the Ascension menu, and on this menu you can spend ability points on any one of the 9 nexuses. These nexuses are magic, recovery, techniques, combat, teamwork, stats, exploration, weight, and armature. While being able to increase combat effectiveness and stats is fun, the Ascension menu feels like an unnecessary weight, with some options requiring staggering amounts of AP, with some as high as 333 ability points. In terms of combat, there are 2 combat modes, Active mode, which is your standard battle system, and wait mode, where time stands still while you are stationary. Active mode makes Final Fantasy 15 your basic action game, while wait mode adds a tactical element as it allows you to slow down the battle and let you strategize. So how does combat work? Well, in its simplest form, you can equip up to 4 weapons or magic, which you can change at will with the directional pad or via the menu. In terms of the pace of combat, it can get overwhelming, especially when fighting large groups of enemies, because if you mess up a block or dodge, you can find yourself in a world of pain. Speaking of dodges and blocking, Noctis has the ability to warp. This means he can throw his weapon and teleport to where it landed, and fade out of the way of enemy attacks. Mastering warp and fade dodging is very important to staying alive. My overall thoughts on combat is that while it can be an absolute mess at times, especially when in a corridor, it is fun, and for all its flaws, I loved getting into combat. Before leaving combat, I want to talk about the magic. Magic in Final Fantasy 15 is essentially a consumable item. To use magic, you need to go to your Elemency tab and select from Fire, Ice and Lightning. You can strengthen the magic you want to create by using more elemental energy, and add additional effects by using a catalyst, with some additional effects including experience boost and poison. Okay, let's talk graphics and audio. Graphically, Final Fantasy 15 is breathtaking. The game offers lovely vistas and a great design. In terms of audio, the voice work is spot on, and the music blends well with the action and emotional aspects of the game. So, in conclusion, Final Fantasy 15 has proven it was worth the 10-year wait. The story, while feeling rushed at parts, is fun, and the high number of features doesn't hurt the overall flow of the game. With that said, I give Final Fantasy 15 a score of 8.5 out of 10, with the pros being well-paced combat with a choice to slow it down if it gets too fast, and the story is enjoyable, although it can be rushed at times. The game's one and only main con is the Ascension skill progression is needlessly padded. Thank you for watching. Please like, favorite and subscribe. For more gaming information, please visit sggaminginfo.com, and don't forget to like our Facebook page at facebook.com/sggaminginfo. And of course, follow us on Twitter at sggaminginfo.
Let's head back to town.